Everything right. Everything right.
Alright guys, back in the video, and this time we're going to go over my updated version of Gohan / Higher Dragon. I really do love this deck, and I haven't showcased it on the channel in a while, and I know a lot of you probably been looking forward to this update. And I won locals, went 4-0 last weekend, and I'm going to go over the deck. Before we get started, I want to talk about the links in my description. Got a sponsorship, little partnership thing with your playmat. Check out the link in the description. Get 10% off your order, whether it's playmats, and they're high quality. I'm going to do a review of a pack of sleeves that I have on the way shortly, whenever it gets here. And that's awesome. I have my Twitch channel. I'm going to have linked in the description. I'm going to start playing on Untap and stuff like that eventually. I just hate playing online, but I need to get used to it. And yeah, but I also have my buddy's design link. So check him out as well. Check out the TikTok, Airfare Gaming. We're going to do a lot of more content coming here, and now that I have a little more free time working at home. But this will be temporary, but I'm going to have to get on a set schedule. We will go live on Twitch every Wednesday night at around 9 p.m. So stay tuned for that, whether we're discussing cards or whatever. But yeah, let's get into the profile. If you know what the leader does, he's generic on the front side for the most part. The important parts is attack, draw a card, take a life. When you're at 4 less life, draw 2 cards. Really important, so your hand gets really big. And then on the back side, activate main, bring back a skillless from your drop, draw a card. And if you have the monster skillless, which is only the only one to play, in combo, you draw a card during the player's turn, once per turn. So really cool. This leader is really nice. Shout out to the guy that gave me a stamp copy for free. That guy was really awesome. Shout out to him. I haven't done an update with this since I got it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Get the 4 copies of the skillless guy. He's important to see in your opening, and not in your opening hand. You need to see him mid-game whenever you're on your awakened side. That's the only time you really care to see him. But you're going to keep recycling this guy over and over. And no Dark Burly, so anymore in the format really, because yeah, no more like banishing him from drop. So that's nice. And you got. So we're playing blue-yellow just like normal. So instead of Beerus check land, we have Forge the Monster, the Eliminator. This card is so good. Counterplays anything 4 or less and puts it back into their hand instead of being played. And that stops Unisons as well. And he has another effect other than being a check land and counterplay. When he's played, you draw a card, then rest one of your opponent's battle cards, which is a little too good. But I'm very thankful that I have that card now. So for Bojack Arrival, this is your main piece that you want to establish in the early game, but be careful with it. Decks will be prepared to remove it. So sometimes you do it early, and then sometimes you do it in response to your opponent trying to go in for game or go in for damage. You play it on your opponent's turn, and then during that battle, you restand 2 energy and pitch a blue-yellow card and draw a card. Really nice. He has barrier, so he's not that easy to remove, but the ways to arrive him that we play is 3 Zamasu, super combo, and 4 hit rapid movement. So these are your free blue-yellow combo cards as long as you have a blue-yellow in your energy. This guy's free to combo with, his other effects are irrelevant. And then you can rest your opponent's leader or battle card, or yeah, so, and then you can arrival right afterwards. So this is really good against Soul Striker, so I'm playing 3 and 1 Krillin super combo. I was not playing this before, but after testing it at 1, it is fine. If you want to play 2, that's probably fine as well. But I do want to make sure that I'm up in the consistency of seeing a combo card to Arrival Bojack, because it is very important. I do play 1 more Arrival, and I play Goku Hit, still 2 copies. This card is super good. I do not play the Bojack card, if you're going to comment below that, because I know some people are going to ask. It is not good in this specific deck due to the fact that you do not want to have to worry about charging a Bojack for your Bojack to be free combo, so you do want to hit rapid move it. But 2 copies of this guy. He's really good in games where you are able to charge another blue with your check land, but other than that, he is a discard fodder or an arrival in certain instances where you do want to try to push for dual attack or block twice. So these are nice. They did come up in my tournament and they were very clutch. The one card that didn't come up that often, other than being charged or discard, was the Goku Black free counter attack kind of card. This is the card that's very sketchy to play, so I may end up switching it out for something, but it is a counter attack it did come up like once, but other than that, it didn't come up. So I may end up just taking him out or just side him out quite often. But to go along with the rival stuff and just being good blue card. 4 beams, this is my favorite card. It's super good in this deck specifically because it allows you to rival and to play defense even more. And this format is going to be a little slower, so I expect this card to even have more value in this format than other formats, but, well, in the previous format specifically. Well, that's probably not true. This card has always been good. But yeah, 3 Basil. This card's really good in this deck now because you do want to. I should have probably played it originally when I first started playing the deck, but I was playing Goku Black. But this deck doesn't really want to tap 2 on your first turn. It's also, this is a dual attacker in the mid game, so Goku Black was not. He was a 2 cost that you only want to play on turn 2. So switch to this card. This card is super good. 19k dual attack during the mid game if your opponent has 5 things rested. Really good, and he's yellow to charge, so that's important. 3 Power of Super Saiyan and 3 Final Flash. Rest your opponent's leader. Rest your opponent's Unison or battle card. Draw a card. Activate battle if you have 1 energy yellow up. So you do want to charge mono yellow on turn 2 after charging multicolor on turn 1. So this is live immediately. And this card triggers Bergamo, and it's just super good at playing defense. And that's what this deck's really good at, is trying to survive to the mid game if your opponent is playing an aggro deck. And it also helps against some of the harder cards to deal with, is just cards that are unisons. So rest of unison, and then or yes a battle card and draw a card. Final Flash, really good at opponent trying to go in for high damage and or with a double strike or triple strike. Turns that off, or you can just turn off Bojacks. There's so many cards. This card has so many applications, and just being able to try to kill someone, really good. 15k power is really important in this format. The extra cards go along with the Mecha Frieza Robotic Riposte. There's only 6 extra cards in a 54 card deck, so this card does not come up that often. So if you don't have these, I wouldn't fret, or at minimum you probably want to. But it is a yellow card that you can combo with, which is one reason why I play. I don't want to feel bad for charging one of these, so a 3 is fine for me. There are other cards that you can play to make it more like more extra cards that you can play that specifically that help this card turn on. So, but I was not too worried about turning it on because it doesn't come up that often. 2 Lord Slug. This is I'm really hard casting this for 3 in certain matchups. I'm not really too worried about playing the 1-drop cantrip, but I do want to test that out. I did have it in my side deck in the tournament, but I didn't feel like playing 2 more cards in my deck to make this card live, or 3 more, or whatever, just so that this card would come out for 2 instead of 3. So this was fine as a 2 of. It did come up in certain matchups, but not all the time. But the main important part is a mono yellow card that you can charge, and or a 5k combo card, because this deck is multicolor. 3 Warcry. I was playing 4 in a lot of my builds before, but 3 is perfect, especially the way I changed the deck. Combo and display for 2, draw a card, rest a card, double strike. Super good. You can play this on offense or defense. 1 Bergamo, because that 1, this card feels so broken whenever you do see it, because your opponent doesn't play around it. And be weary playing against yellow. They still do have 1 copy of this card. Resting 2 of your opponent's cards during their turn or your turn is super good. And one of my favorite cards in the game to play currently. This is the most undervalued SPR from that set. $1 currently, so grab your copies. There's so many in the market. 3 cost Unison, +0, dual attacker. It's +0 is rest one of your opponent's battle cards, and if it's 4 or less, negate its skills and kill it. Then -3, kill everything in rest mode, so you can attack twice, pay 3, draw a card, and kill everything in rest mode. Super good. It doesn't ignore barriers, so keep that in mind. But I tested this out as a one-off. Son Goku Return of the Dragon Fist. This card is a deflect double striker, which is nice. Pay 3 for it and kill 2 opponent's battle cards. Super good. And then, but it will get sided out some cases because it is a one cost 10k, which is kind of scary. But or you just charge it. But this card is good if you're going first and you can establish Unison with Bojack. So this into this is really good because usually he lives, which is the cool part about this card. So he also has an effect Spirit Boost 2, which can remove 2 markers from this card, and then your opponent can't activate any skills or any battle card skills from anywhere whenever you're attacking with this card. So no super combos. So he's basically 2 free damage if he gets through, especially with like a Final Flash and Beam. I think he He has dual attack as well, so he's almost guaranteed 4 damage in this deck. You got your finishers, which is Fighting Its Fate, Supreme Kai of Time, and this is like the best secret rare in the game currently. Clearing unisons and entire boards is insane, and you draw so many cards in this deck that you will see these one-ofs a lot, like all of these. So don't be afraid to, when you're building this kind of deck, to take in one-ofs. So, and then you got the one-of Double Strike. It's just super good. This right here, sometimes when you get to turn 4 or 5 and your opponent is trying to like wiggle themselves away to kill you, because it's really hard to kill this deck. Just the fact you have Aegis and War Cries and Power of Super Saiyan and Beams, it's really hard to kill like this deck. And you have, your hand is like 16 cards sometimes. So like the average size hand in the mid game is around 10 or 11 cards. It's really hard for them to deal with, especially with the Higher Dragon keeping coming back, and you'll be able to combo and draw with it on your opponent's turn. That in combination with Beams and stuff like that, your opponent really has to try to like force you out of a win with like Quotsukai and stuff like that for you to really lose a lot of advantage. But with Beam and Power of Super Saiyan, those Quotsukais are not that detrimental. But yeah, these are your win cons, like your like actual like bombs. But like this is the card that allows you to just win sometimes, and so does this. So basically your big cards here are the ones that are super important to the strategy. The rest of the cards, like other than Bojack, are just support. And then you have the counterplays and Masu Eliminators, which are really good. So the deck's like 54 cards right now, so you can trim it down. But these are some other cards. If you don't ever, if you're missing some of these cards, you can play 1 copy of this, swap out the dual attacker, Fighting a Face with, if you don't have it, with this. Routine is a solid tech. I do side, and then Retaliation Cooler. This is a card you can side. You can also just trim this deck down a little bit by removing the slugs and put them, if you don't want to play 54 cards. They're not that important in my testing, and you could technically take out this and replace it for another Goku hit if you don't have it, or just play a lower count card and like card count. But yeah, these are cards you can play as well if you want to try those out. This did put in work in after siding it, and this came in against some of the aggro decks. So, but make sure to check out the descriptions, and don't be afraid to order from Airfare Gaming on TCG Player. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Please leave comments and like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.